Hey there everyone, this is Victor with Victor Vector JKU, and today I'm going to be going over how to clean the Armorlite Floor System in my 2015 JKU. Stay tuned. Alright, so I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that are interested in getting this system set up on your rig. I know that I've gotten a lot of people saying, hey, I appreciate your videos showing the install, you sold me on it, and I'm really happy that putting together that video was enough information to encourage some people to go out and buy this product. Personally, I'm really happy with it, and I've had it installed in my Jeep for just over a month now, and it's held up really well. Obviously it's only a month. So today what I want to go over with you guys is how I'm going to go about cleaning it, and we're going to, this is going to be the first time I'm cleaning it. It's not super dirty, but it is a little bit dirty. And then I'm also going to go ahead and pull the floor system out as well, and we'll see if there's any areas that water's leaking through around any of the edges, the trim, things like that. Also, another reason why I am pulling it out right now is I got a little package here from Armorlite. They sent this over to me. That's going to be a surprise for the next video. You guys are going to have to hold on patiently for that. So let's go ahead and get a walkthrough real quick of the Jeep and how dirty the floor is so far. So like I said, it's not super dirty, but there is a decent amount of dirt in here. Last time I went out wheeling with a couple of buddies, this is where one of my other friends was sitting in the back seat, and that got pretty well muddy, so. So right now what my plan is I'm just going to be basically using a hose with just a valve attachment on it, and then I'm also going to be using one of these little scrub brushes, just something like a steady flow here. What we can do is we can go ahead and just open up the drain plug here and hopefully not drip all over my foot. Be aware of that. And then we can go ahead and just rinse out everything here. You have pedals even too? This guy goes up pretty far up on the dash, so I don't worry about not going too high up here, so that's good. So like I said, so really, it's coming out pretty good, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my scrub brush here just a little bit, agitate the surface, and really break up any of the dirt that's kind of settled in from that month of not having washed this yet. So what is nice is most all the water really is sort of channeling and draining right down to the drain plug, so that's really good to see. I do have just a little bit of a pool right over here that's kind of being created. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and check out the passenger side here. So I turned up the water pressure just a little bit, see if that helps out with clearing some of the dirt off a little bit better. This side I'm not as worried about for electronics. I do have the HVAC right up here, so there are some things still to be conscious of, but we'll go ahead and start off with opening up our drain plug there, and we'll go and start spraying. Alright, so this dirt seems a little bit more stuck on, so we'll go and agitate it again with my brush. Pretty much that wraps up for rinsing out this guy. Again, most of the water seems to be wicking down pretty good. Again, right here, same with the other side. It's a little bit of a low spot, so the water's kind of pulling up there again. So this might be an area that Armorlite could improve. Just add a little bit more padding or something, or create it a little bit higher here. That way this guy wants to really slope more down toward the drain plug. Alright guys, so next up we're going to go ahead and hit this rear spot here. So the one thing I'm going to note is that there is still carpet back here that comes down underneath the seat. So I'm going to try to focus on keeping the dirt and everything up here in the water, but we'll see what happens. So again, go ahead and start off with opening up that guy. Again, we're going to need to get in there with our brush, agitate a little bit. Give it a rinse. Got a little bit more here. Dip. So again, here in the back, it's a little bit pulled up, kind of just over here a little bit. Now I am noticing on the other side, it is a little bit more pulled up right in this location. I'm not sure. One area I think I'd point out is the way that the cover comes up flat and then back down allows for water to get back here, and then it pulls up and it gets underneath the carpet. So that is probably going to be an area that we'll see later about a potential leak path. But yeah, so that's kind of the look at what it takes to clean these guys. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Obviously it took me just a couple of minutes here to do it. If I wasn't holding the camera trying to set it up and stuff, I'd say probably 5 minutes, rinse this out, scrub them down real quick, and be good to go. Alrighty guys, so we're right now about 45 minutes since I started washing the driver front. I still got a little bit of moisture up there, so what I'm going to do for the sake of time, I want to make sure I don't lose all my daylight, is I'm just going to go ahead and start drying off the interior here. I'm going to grab a couple of microfiber cloths, and I'm just going to go through and wipe up all the water that I put down. That way I can go ahead and get to the uninstalled, or to start removing the floor line system. I don't have to worry about myself one getting all wet, and two, is first remove our drain plugs, and then we're going to work on removing the rear, and then we're going to move up and hit the two front compartments after that. So first thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and grab these guys. What you do is just grab by the center of the drain plug, and you can go and just pull it out real easy. So just to give you a little better example, you can just reach through, grab by this little band here, and then just pull straight up. These guys pop out pretty easy, but they do create a good seal. So, and then something that I had realized when I was installing these the previous time is pulling these two Christmas tree fasteners off the trim here definitely makes it a bit easier to be able to get underneath. Now it might not be necessary, but I'm also going to remove this one here, and there's also one on the front side too. I'm going to go ahead and pop all these guys off. Okay, I do have a correction, there's actually two up here. There's one towards the front, and then there's one up on the door sill here as well. So remove all four of those guys. Makes this panel a little bit looser, a little bit easier to manipulate this piece out. So I'll go ahead and leave this side in, just do a comparison of removing the trim pieces and leaving the trim pieces in. So what we're first going to do is we're going to see if we can't manipulate the piece that's underneath the seat here out first. And the first thing you kind of want to do is work it out from underneath the trim. And work from underneath the cup holder out too. And it'd probably be a good idea to be wearing gloves doing this. Forgot to do that, so I'm probably going to stop here in a second and go ahead and grab those. Alright, got my gloves now. Now what we can do is continue working it out from underneath this side of the B-pillar tower, or trim. Might help pull out from this part from underneath the carpet, out from under the seat, and allow us to kind of pull it out just like that. Okay, we're getting pretty close there. Next thing we can do is start working out from underneath the cup holder. And it might be beneficial to pull out what's underneath the seat here. Now it's not necessarily working out underneath the cup holder. So again, I'll go ahead and grab the rear piece of the rear flap here underneath the seat. Pull this guy forward. Right, slide him out underneath the B-pillar trim. And out that side. Just like that. Now go ahead and work this part out underneath the seat as well. And work. And I can work around the cup holder, pull him free. I'm working him slightly backwards. One disadvantage of being height vertically challenged. Alright, there we go. Alright, so that's that. Go ahead and should be able to lift up the front side here, kind of reversing how the install goes. Lift it, pull forward. It does look like we have a little bit of water underneath here. It's not a lot of water, but it's a little bit. There's more over on this side than there is on this side. I didn't really wash out a whole bunch on this side, so kind of makes sense there. So you can kind of see there's a little bit of water. There's a little bit of a pool up here. Doesn't look like there's any water underneath the seat here. And there is a little bit of water down under here. You can see that a little bit, so. Okay. So you can see there's a decent bit of water that got underneath here. So what my guess is where that came from is around this foothold here when water got in from here. Possibly around this foothold here as well. But primarily I think it was these guys here. And similarly we again have another good amount of puddle and water underneath over here. Alright guys, so we'll go ahead and dry off this side over here. We'll work on getting that guy removed next. Alright, so last time, if you guys remember, I removed this Christmas tree fastener to help me get around here a little bit. So I'm going to go and pop that guy back out again. And just make sure you got the seat back all the way. Alright, we're going to start off with, again, we'll just go ahead and loop our finger in underneath, lift straight up, get the drain plug out. Then, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and work from the back side out. And I think I'm going to go ahead and work from the B-pillar side this way, and then I'll pull the rest of the cover out that way. So easy way to do that, just go ahead and lift up by the drain plug hole. Oh, one thing I almost forgot. There are a couple of twist-on nuts up here. Don't forget to take those out before you get going. I can go and pull that down from there, pull them off the studs. And actually, where I'm at right now, I think I'm going to go ahead and start working the backside too. And kind of pivot and roll them out, just like so. Alright, so it looks like we did have a little bit of water intrusion there. Seems like our spot here is right around in this corner. Looks like there's a bit of water that's able to get under there. So, all right. So let's see. So we do have a good bit of pooling that's right here under, at this drain plug. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and pop that guy out. Maybe got a little too aggressive with the water on this side. Would appear that it's probably coming right around the seal between the door trim here and the Armorlite floor. Guys, I want to look at where potential water intrusion locations are. So let's go ahead and highlight some of those. So where I saw on the passenger side is it seems like there is a tight fit right here, but there is a little bit of a gap you can kind of see right here. So it might be that some of the water's intruding from there. Then there's also a little bit of a gap right here as well. You can kind of see there's just a little bit of a hole through the floor cover right there. Then the next spot is going to be right here. It does do a pretty good job coming around flush of the front foot of the seat, but there's a little bit of a gap here. But that's so you don't have to remove the seat to be able to do this install. And similarly, there's also another spot right here. There's a bit of a gap. But otherwise, around here it's pretty tight, and there's not really a lot of potential for water to intrude there unless you are spraying up in that direction, which I did. And I tried to come in from a more downward angle and a forward angle, and kind of more over to this side because there's a lot of floor cover here for it to sort of wash and then come into the drain plug. And then similarly, obviously any water that goes on top here and is going in a backward direction is going to want to roll back into here. Now, I didn't really get any water back here, so this is good and dry back here. What I missed before on the other side is there's this one nut right here on this stud. We've got to remove this guy before we remove the floor cover, and we want to make sure we pull that off the stud too, that way we don't damage the floor cover. Then there's two more up here. I know it's dark, you're probably not going to see, but there's two more up here to grab. Alright, so just got to pull those three off. So, to show earlier too, here's the two Christmas tree fasteners that get removed for this lower B-pillar trim. So that guy comes loose, and then I'm going to go ahead and remove this guy as well. And I'm going to pop this guy free so that he's out of the way this time. We're going to go ahead and remove the drain plug again. Again, just pull by the center. And I'm going to go ahead and pop this Christmas tree out. Which is held in, I believe, two little pop-in clips. Alright, there we go. So yeah, so you got a clip here and a clip here, which goes onto this little stud here, and there's another one right up here. So we got that guy out of the way just to make things a little bit easier here. Definitely not necessary, but I wanted to do this and see how it looked. So again, we'll go ahead and start with the rear. Underneath the seat, we'll go ahead and pull this free. Go ahead and work around the seat base here and the cup holder. Now one other thing we can do is we can actually pop this cup holder up just to give us a little extra clearance when working this guy out. And with that, I just lift them up, pull the cover off of the studs on the firewall, and from there, should be good. Just go ahead and pull him on out. You can see I do have quite a bit of water here that's draining out. So that's going to be because of the fit right under here of the kick panel trim to the floor cover. So again, we do have a decent bit of water underneath here again. You can see that. So something just to be aware of. I'm going to wipe up all the water because when I go to throw this floor system back in, I don't want to have water sitting underneath here. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe it all out. So I do also have the cargo liner for the Armorlite system. So like I was saying earlier, I have been sleeping in my Jeep. So there's my hammock. I got it kind of just torn down for now, but we'll go and push this guy out of the way. So if you go and pull this guy out, it's pretty easy. There's nothing that's holding him down. You can just go ahead and pull him right on out. But he fits up pretty nice and well into the cargo area and does a good job. So there you go, just as easy as that. We'll go and throw him down. So he's a little bit thinner than the others. Because you do maintain the carpet in the back, so he's one layer polyester underneath the thermoplastic layer, but this guy does a good job as well. I'm liking this in the back. It's an improvement over, I had another brand that had more edges that came straight up, and I didn't like that. What I found is whenever I folded down the seats and I had that edge that came up like this to keep all the mud and everything in, I found that when I would lay something like a box over it, it would flatten out and then it would get all bent and crappy and stuff, and so I didn't like that. So I do like the way that the Armorlite has this rolled edge, and then also similarly it does have the ability to be able to be cut out for the subwoofer in the center or the subwoofer on the side in the rear right corner. Armorlite did send me this as a thank you for doing my first review install on this kit. So I wanted to give a shout out to Armorlite real quick, say thank you for that. Appreciate you guys finding value in my video, and that then completes off my system. That way I have the full 4-piece kit. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and do a quick recap. So we got the interior washed, required a little bit of scrubbing, no big deal there. Cleaned up pretty good. And then I went ahead and removed the interior so we could look at and see if there was any leak paths. We did identify a few, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and reach out to Armorlite. I'm going to try to work with them and see if there's any updates they can do to their tooling or the design to make it so it's a little less prone to any of those leaks. I think that's one big thing that's really important with the off-road community and anyone that's looking into buying products, especially new products, is definitely giving those companies feedback. So let's go ahead and take a look real quick what the floor system looks like, removed out and all cleaned up. So this is the driver compartment here. So you can see this is one area I missed. This is because the driver pedal's right here, or the gas pedal's right here, and so it's kind of difficult to get in there and scrub that, but not a big deal there. Otherwise it cleaned up pretty good. Yeah, there is a little bit still here. I could have probably gotten in there a little bit more and done some more scrubbing, but I was just kind of running through it real quick. Otherwise the rear, that one cleaned up pretty darn good too. You can see there are some areas that still have a little bit of dirt residue, but you know, again, I wasn't trying to get this immaculately clean. Let's talk about some of the leak paths too. So a couple of the areas that I really saw where leaks were prone was right along the door sill trim edge, right here where it matched up with the Armorlite floor liner. So that was part one, and then the second part was right here around this foot for the seat. So this cutout here, if you got water up on top, it's kind of more prone to sort of splash in there and get underneath. I don't think there was much on this one. And then if we look at the rear, the area that we saw a little bit of leak was not so much the front seat rear legs. There was maybe a little bit of leaking there, but not too much. But really I think the primary was more on the rear seat front legs. And then also any water that came over the back definitely pulled up back here because it's flat on the top and then it angles back and down, back underneath the seat. So that is one area that's kind of more prone to having that water build up back there. Be a little bit cautious about that, but otherwise the drain plugs worked well. There was no water leak that came around it. They did work as expected and as they are designed. So I'm sure there's plenty of you out there that might be a little bit concerned with the water leak that is able to happen around the edges, but like I said, I'm going to work with Armorlite, see if we can do something with my feedback to give them a little bit more input and see if there's anything you can do to update their design or change some of the tooling a little bit if it's a tool safe modification. Now granted, the tooling for creating a product like this is going to be pretty expensive, but like I said, I'll be reaching out to them to discuss that. Is the Armorlite floor system really worth the money? And I'm going to say yes. Right now they do have 20% off, so rather than paying full retail, you know, you're getting 20% off. That was a big deal. When I saw that, I was like, I'm not going to skip on this because personally I don't really like the carpet that much. The thing is with the carpet material is there's all the carpet fibers that come up through basically this perforated sheet. And so that allows for things like sand, moisture, water, dirt, things like that to seep through the carpet, get into the polyester, and then it's kind of ingrained in the polyester, and then it'll be abrasive on the floorboard on the painted surface. And then you're going to be running into issues of where you take away all the paint or any of the coating that's protecting it, and then you end up with rust issues. Whereas the thermoplastic Armorlite Floor System, it has that thermoplastic top layer, and that's going to prevent anything from being able to go through from the top. Basically, it has to work its way around an edge or an opening in the floor system itself. You dramatically reduce the ability for sand, water, and dirt to really get underneath the floor system and cause that damage to your floor plan. Other things I want to point out is the form of it. Form fit of this product. It is honestly way stiffer, it's thicker, and it has a much cleaner look than the factory carpet. Personally, I think just that right there pays for at least half of it. And then you start talking about the functionality of it. It is a very tough surface, and it also has that nice thick layer of polyester, 2 layers of polyester in there. So you're not only getting an abrasive top layer, but you're also getting the thermal insulation and the sound deadening material that dramatically improves the comfort inside the cab. So there is definitely a good reduction in noise. I don't know exactly how much, and then I've yet to really determine, but I'm going to assume that there is also a good thermal improvement as well. So when it's hot out, it'll keep some of that heat away from you from coming up through the transmission tunnel, and then also similarly when it's cold, it's going to prevent some of that cold from coming up from underneath the floorboards. My honest review of this, it's a great product. Yes, it might have a few downfalls, but I think it's definitely worth the money. I would highly suggest to anyone else to buy, and I would definitely buy it again myself. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you're getting good content from my channel. If you are, definitely hit the like button on this video. Subscribe to the channel, sign up for notifications too, that way you know when I'm dropping my next video. I definitely appreciate any feedback that you guys have. If there's anything that you think I can improve with the videos that I'm doing, cover more details, or if you guys have any questions about this product further than what I've talked about in this video, I definitely will look to reply to anyone's questions, comments. I look forward to hearing from you guys. Let me know what you think. If you've got this product installed, let me know what your thoughts are on it too. What do you think of the install? What do you think of cleaning it? And have you had to remove it yet for any reason, or did you choose to remove it, and what did you think of that? And did you see any water intrusions as well, or did you see anything in addition? So let me know what you guys think. I'm going to make you guys wait to see what's in this box here that Armorlite sent me. So that's going to be coming in the next video. Otherwise, we are Victor Vector JKU, and we are taking on this build and the trails with both direction and magnitude. Alright guys, have a great day. We'll catch you next time.